programs that caught our attention. One is the weatherization energy efficiency program, designed to train ex-convicts, people that don't have jobs, period,
Yeah.
Yeah, to, give them the opportunity to be self-sustaining, okay? And two, there is a farm that they have, they call it real farms, or real food farms.
Real food farm.
Okay.
Food farm.
Okay.
Is it what it is? Okay. Yeah.
So, that outfit was supposed to educate, produce food, within the urban community, in an environmentally sustainable way. So those two programs is what we are, very much interested in. But at the end, at the end of the day, when we sat down after the meeting, I said, well, let me find out what the city of Wilmington is already doing in the area of green initiatives.
Sure.
Before we start running all over the place,
getting everything together,
and coordinate, what,
right.
see if we can, piggyback on that, identify who the key players are, and bring some resources to the table if we can,
Sure.
So that is the genesis to this meeting.
What's your role in all this?
I'm the Assistant Water Division Director, so anything that interfaces with the sanitary sewer collection system or the stormwater collection system, or what most of what we have in the city is combined sewers. So, so any chance that or opportunity that we can find to divert rainwater away from the combined system then has the opportunity to lessen the amount of overflows that are going into our waterways. So we try to focus our attention, and our initial green infrastructure projects have been focused on an area that is most sensitive to overflow. I shouldn't say, it's on an area that has the most sensitive from storm standpoint to overflowing to the river. So for the smallest storms, this location overflows to the river. So a project in that area may give you the benefit for the widest range of storms. Whereas if you go to another area and it only overflows once a year, then putting in a green infrastructure may have other benefits besides.
And you have records of this to give you a sense of what goes on?
We have a project that is ongoing, a couple of different projects that model and represent the flow of stormwater and sewage in our collection system. And we're able to assess which locations have the largest amount of overflows during each storm event. And we try to target our efforts to the areas that have the largest amount of overflows to the river, and therefore we're getting the most benefit by eliminating, flow that would be going out to the river for the largest number of storms.
Yeah, right. So runoff into the river,
So we have
and contamination of the river.
Yeah. So we have a sophisticated computer model of the sewer system that allows us to basically predict for each storm event how much overflow would go to the river.
Like we've had some big ones just recently, right? So
Yes. Yeah. And for a system like ours, it's oftentimes the very intense summer thunderstorms that cause the most significant impact, because we have a lot of paved over areas, and so that flow gets into the sewers very quickly and overflows very quickly, as opposed to an all day long storm, which still may affect us, but in a different way.
So you would not only have the city, but you might have, like, we're interested in West Center City, one of the main areas we're interested in.
Yes.
We have a sense of what that flow looks like in West Center City in terms of water contamination, stuff like that.
Yes, and oftentimes the areas that experience the consequence of that excessive flow are much further downstream. It could be at the stream location, or it could be flooding in a low-lying area where the sewers are overtaxed. So oftentimes the project to benefit somebody at the lower part of the system has to be implemented in the higher part of the system.
Interconnect that source kind of contamination hazard or something like that.
Yeah, so a project in West Center City may not benefit West Center City from a standpoint of water
Right.
contamination, but it'll benefit the locations along the river where the overflow might occur.
I've got you. Thank you. That's really nice picture. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're all kind of in one big village, so something that happens in one location can affect the people in another.
And do you deal with like farm runoff upstream in the Brandywine or anything like that?
Or, on your treatment of water to clean up
Right.
your drinking water, you get $1 of benefit, but oftentimes you can spend $1 protecting the watershed upstream and get $2 or more of benefit downstream in there. So
I got you. Where the intensity of contamination exists.
so they've implemented a award-winning program of watershed protection to protect the source of our drinking water upstream in the Pennsylvania watershed of the Brandywine.
Okay.
So oftentimes some people will question, why are you spending money up in Pennsylvania
Right.
on projects
Yeah.
up there, and
I got you.
it gives us benefit to our drinking
Right.
water system down here.
Fascinating. Yeah.
I have a question. These drain barrels that collect the rainwater, who sells them?
Well, you can get them through different private companies.
Home Depot?
You could get one at Home Depot, or
Okay.
every year Denrec will sell a limited number of them.
Yeah.
Because you can buy kits to make rain barrels,
Yeah.
but that barrel, I think, is the expensive part. So there's a lot of nationwide programs to make rain barrels. That's a whole nother program in itself, but
Barrels. Right.
yeah, and
Okay.
a lot of times people get old pickled barrels or soda barrels, if you can get them in bulk, and they clean them out, and then there's programs where communities bring in artists and they paint the barrels, and then some nonprofits will do it as a fundraiser and things like that. So
Okay.
a lot of different
But
innovative
the painting
programs out
helps
there.
to make consciousness of the need
Yeah.
brought forward. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then some people painted artwork, and then then they make other fancy rain barrels that are sort of they look more like planters. The function's still the same, but they look more like a planter. So there's
Okay.
sort of two schools with that. One's very obvious that it's a rain barrel, and one's trying to kind of disguise it and have it fit in with the home and the look of the home.
Yeah.
The rain barrels will have benefits on several different levels. So
This is.
Double-sided.
for the
Oh, okay.
homeowners, it allows them to
Oh,
use
good. Thanks.
water that was landing on their property for irrigation of their gardens and their lawns. The other thing it does is a rain barrel. Every gallon of water that the rain barrel collects, if that home happens to be located in an area of the city where we have combined sewers, then that's 1 gallon less of wastewater that we have to treat at the wastewater treatment plant. So that saves energy on that side as well. So you save the money pumping the water to them if they use drinking water to irrigate their gardens, and you save money on energy on the tail end by not having to treat the rainwater in the sewage treatment plant.
That's a win-win proposition.
Yeah.
Right, and these barrels are maybe 15 gallon, 25 gallon.
They're generally around 50 to 100 gallon, depending on the size.
You can get them in different sizes. But.
So I'm thinking a row home in West Center City would probably be needed for that.
There's a whole calculation based on
Right,
square
size
footage,
of
like
the
the
roof.
size of the roof and how many downspouts you
You
can
got that?
disconnect.
Pretty well
A
figured, yeah.
large size
Yeah.
row home for
Yes.
a 1-inch rainstorm will generate around 600 gallons of water. So you won't capture all the water. That's why Mary was suggesting that for many of the homes they will have an overflow spout that allows it to connect back into the sewer system. So you collect the first 55 or 100 gallons of rainwater, and then anything beyond that would go into the sewer
Okay.
system.
Yeah.
That would be great though, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would. No,
Yeah.
fantastic.